E rangatira mā puta noi I te motu whakapiri mai anō rā. Last week we raised the issue of child sexual abuse and we were amazed with your feedback. Here's one example.
It is the first time I have ever seen or heard an open, honest and frank discussion on this matter on TV, the radio or in any public forum. I want to say well done. It's about time this issue was discussed in an open and frank manner. Don't stop. Keep talking.
Well, in that spirit, this week Carmen Parahi interviews a convicted child rapist about how we can keep children safe from predators like him.
A dirty old bastard, that's all I was.
Watching in our parks, walking amongst us, lurking in our homes, are the shadow people, monsters who prey on our children.
You've got hundreds of sex offenders living in the neighbourhoods. They're all around there. Do you see them? Do you know who they are? No. And because you don't know who they are, your children aren't safe.
This shadow man is dying from cancer. He wants to make amends for his crimes against children by telling us how predators work.
You sexually abused 3 girls. People would say you're a monster.
I am a monster. I didn't realise it myself. I'm a monster through and through. But I don't want to be a monster anymore.
Why children though? Why children?
Because most offenders can get more love out of the children than they will out of the adults. They're not fitting in with adults, so the children are the next best option. A child will be easier to make as a victim because they look at adults as being people they can be safe with. And children weren't safe with me. But in my own head, I didn't see that. All I saw was getting my gratification from the situation.
He says children are taught to be aware of strangers, but the dangers are closer to home. Up to 90% of victims who are raped or molested know they're abusers.
Nobody wants to have an offender in their house. But let's look at this country at the moment. They're coming out of the woodwork.
He says we're not doing enough to stop abuse.
A lot of offenders don't have just one victim. A lot of them have multiple victims. So that if they can't get what they need from one victim, they've got others to fall back on. This is a nationwide problem. And every so often you see somebody stick their hand up and go, yep, we're working on it. Okay, well, how many offenders have you stopped this week? I'd bet to say you haven't stopped any. So you're not working on it.
He says abusers don't just target children, they go after parents first.
What's grooming? How do people like you groom families?
We groom families by looking at what the family wants. You can talk to mum, talk to dad and find out what they want. You can't groom the children without grooming the family. The parents would click onto things very quickly if you did that. If you groom the parents, they have a totally different mindset about who you are and what you are. They think you're awesome. Really, you're a devil in a black cloak just waiting to pounce. And as long as you keep that grooming up, the children keep coming back. You give the parents a bit more of a groom and you're right back where you started again. You've got the secrecy going on between you, the parent and the child.
This is the black heart of child abuse, secrecy. As a society and in families, sexual abuse is a dirty little secret we don't talk about openly. Perfect conditions for predators.
Secrecy is the biggest weapon that any offender will use. And the secrecy of what him and his victim are doing is kept solely between him and her, or him and him. He will try his darndest to get everybody else in the house doing something else or going somewhere else. Hey, Mum and Dad, go have a night at the pictures. I'll be here, kids will be all right. Big red flag should go up, and you go off to the pictures and leave them alone, your children are in danger.
So how can parents keep their children safe from people like you?
A lot of families will hear the daughter saying, I don't like that man, and I've heard families go, no, he's all right. I like him. But it's not until the daughter comes out with what he's doing that makes her not like him. The families or the parents, their head just goes nuts because they don't know whether to believe her or believe him. They want to believe her, but they like him, so they want to believe him too. But the crux here is the child. If something like this is happening to a child, they won't lie. Because if a child is not comfortable with somebody in your house, they will let you know just by body action. They will slink away from people. They will go quiet. But please, ask the questions. Is he okay? Is he somebody I should be aware of? And doing that, you will keep yourself and your family safe.
Very few offenders are kept in jail for life. Most are reintegrated into communities. This man has been through 3 programs, including Kia Marama in jail. He refers to the Kia Marama Bible daily.
If we get into a situation we can't handle, we've got all these different groups that we can actually call up and say, help, I need help. I'd walk up the street, see a lady and a child in a pram. I don't even hesitate now, straight across the road and up the other side. It's just a safety measure.
He says the best defence is families committed to protecting their children.
Why are you doing this? Is it to make amends for the sexual abuse, the offences that you've committed against those girls?
I will never be able to make amends for the crime that I committed. Never. What I did was horrifically bad. And I saw the devastation it did to those children and their parents. It doesn't only affect the parents of the child's house, it affects the child, it affects the aunties, uncles, cousins, all the people around you that you and the child associate with get disconnected by the damage that an offender can cause in a family. I don't want to see that anymore. There are lots of children out there that could have beautiful lives and they've been mucked up by some offender. They don't deserve that.
Nā me ua pēr kia tātou ngā mātua te kimi ake I te kauhanga nuitanga I wainganui te tiaki I a tātou tamariki me te tāmi I a tātou tamariki. Engari ki te pirangi koutou ki etahi atu tai pito pito e pāna ki te whakamaru tika I o tamariki ko te mana tūpirihi mana te wāhi hei whakapā atu mā koutou. Kua tūia atu e mātou ārātou kōrero ki tā mātou whārangi ipurangi. Menara he tangata e māharahara tiana e koe, waia atu kia 0508 family, ara kore rima kore waru, toru rua ono whā rima iwa. Mena kāre koe I kite I tā mātou pūrongo I tērā wiki mo te tūkino tama, tirohi ake te ratonga whawhao a te reo tātaki nei, kei tā mātou whārangi ipurangi anō, ngā tai pito pito mō tērā.